I was speaking with two retired advisors recently, similar businesses, similar size, similar timing. Both sold within 6 months of each other. 5 years later, one walked away with exactly what he negotiated. The other made more on the second check, what's often called the second bite. He made more than the first. Same starting point, completely different outcomes. And it came down to one decision most advisors don't fully understand when they go to market. Let me tell you a story. Those two advisors, Andrew and Michael, both ran boutique RIAs, $500, $600 million size, strong client bases, good margins, clean businesses. Then each decided it was time. Andrew took what most would consider a great deal, fully cash, strong multiple, clean exit, structure, no complications, no ongoing risk. He monetized the business he built fair and square. Michael took a different path. He also received a strong offer. But instead of taking 100% cash, he did something most advisors hesitate to do. He took a portion in equity, not in his own firm, in the acquiring platform's equity. At the time, it felt like a trade-off, less cash today in exchange for something not exactly certain tomorrow. Fast forward 5 years, Andrew's outcome didn't change. He got exactly what he negotiated. Michael's did. The platform he joined scaled aggressively. More acquisitions, better infrastructure, multiple expansion. And that equity he took was now worth more than what he sold the entire deal for. His second outcome, that second bite, outpaced his first. Same starting line, different lens on what the deal actually was. Most advisors think about a transaction as an endpoint, a way to convert years of work into a number. But the best deals today, they're not just transactions, they're exchanges. You're not just selling your equity, you're trading it. And the real question becomes, what are you trading into? Because boutique practices on their own are typically valued at solid but limited multiples. There's a ceiling, but the right aggregators, the right platforms, they operate on a different trajectory. Scale, capital, institutional backing, and eventually, institutional level valuations. That's where the gap opens. There's 4 points on this that you got to understand. First, boutique practices don't get institutional multiples on their own. Let's be direct about the math. A sub-billion-dollar practice, no matter how well run, is not getting IPO level multiples on its own. It's not about quality, it's about structure. Institutional buyers pay those high multiples for scale, for predictability, for systems. And here's a big one, for leadership depth beyond the founder. Most boutique firms don't check all those boxes in a way that commands top-tier pricing. So if you sell outright, you're crystallizing value at that level. Good outcome, but capped. Second point, the second bite is where asymmetry lives. When you take equity in the right platform, something changes. You're no longer tied to the growth rate of your own firm. You're tied to the growth rate of a larger system. More acquisitions, better capital structure, operational leverage, that multiple expansion. And here's where it becomes interesting. Let's say you sell your firm at an 8 times net multiple. You roll a portion into the platform. If that platform scales and eventually commands, a 16, 18, or 20 multiple, you've just stepped into a different valuation environment entirely. You didn't build that scale alone, but you participated in it, and that's the trade. And when it works, that second outcome, that second bite, can be meaningfully larger than the first. Third point, selection is everything. But here is the critical warning. This is where most advisors get it wrong. They hear equity upside and assume it's automatic. It's not. Most platforms will not achieve institutional level outcomes. Some will stall, some will plateau, some will never reach velocity. So the decision isn't, should I take equity? The decision is, whose equity is actually worth owning? Because you're concentrating risk, you're taking chips off the table and placing them into a single larger bet. That bet needs to be right. And that means evaluating leadership quality, growth trajectory, capital backing, acquisition discipline, integration capability, not just the headline price, not just the brand, and not just who shows up with the highest initial offer. The difference between Andrew and Michael wasn't luck. It was selection. 4, this isn't about complexity. It's about perspective. At a high level, the concept is simple. You're exchanging slower growing equity for equity that you believe will grow faster. That's it. Now, the structures behind that, how equity is issued, how it vests, how liquidity works, those details matter. We'll break that down in a future episode, but conceptually, this is not complicated. It's a shift in perspective. And that shift is from what is my business worth today to what could this capital become if I place it correctly. That's how institutional investors think. And increasingly, that's how advisors need to think when they approach M&A. So when you hear about large platforms trading at premium multiples, understand what's happening. They're not just buying firms. They're aggregating growth, scale, and market confidence into a single vehicle. And advisors who align with the right ones, they get exposure to that. Not by building it alone, but by participating in it. If you run a boutique practice, here's the reality. You can absolutely build a valuable business. You can absolutely achieve a strong outcome. But if your goal is access to institutional level multiples, you're not going to get there by your own. You're not going to get there by yourself. You're not going to get there by staying independent. The path isn't just building, it's aligning. And the real opportunity isn't just the first check. It's what that check can become. Because when this is done well, the second outcome, that second bite, doesn't just complement the first, it surpasses it. And that's how boutique practices step into a different league of value completely. If you found this episode helpful, and if you're a founder interested in exploring being part of a successful aggregator, reach out to an Advisor Hunt consultant for a confidential discussion. And be sure to subscribe and hit that notification bell to be first to get future episodes. I'm Darrell with Advisor Hunt. It's good to have you here, and we'll see you next time.